have my microphone and camera off throughout this.
Hi! We're so glad that you chose our session.
If you have any questions during the presentation, please go ahead and type those into the chat, and at the end, we will answer all of your questions.
Hope you enjoy.
Hi. We're so excited that you chose to join our session, Collaborate to Make Your School Great.
Today, we would like to take you on our journey to discovering that STEM, along with collaboration, really can make your school environment great.
So, thinking about your teaching, do you ever feel like you're doing the same thing over and over each day? Same routine, same schedule, same outcomes, same feelings? Or maybe you feel like this.
Sometimes we do.
Or sometimes you're giving it your all with your instruction and you look at your students and they're doing this. So we want to help you take all of those feelings and turn it into a classroom that looks more like this. So, who are we? Well, my name is Donna Barnes and I currently teach first grade at Sewanee Elementary School. This is my 15th year as an educator and my 11th year teaching first grade.
I'm Lauran Godfrey and I teach second grade at Sewanee Elementary School. This is my 7th year in education and my 4th year teaching second grade.
So we want to give you a little bit of background about Sewanee Elementary School.
Our school is located atop the mountainous Cumberland Plateau in the southeastern part of Middle Tennessee. Sewanee Elementary School serves grades K through 5 in the Franklin County School District.
Our student population is about 200 students. Our mission statement states that the mission of Sewanee Elementary School, a caring and supportive center of learning excellence, is to assure that each student acquires the knowledge and life skills necessary for being an accountable, productive member of a democratic society.
And our vision statement is Sewanee Elementary School's vision is to be a beacon of educational excellence where a desire to learn, to have respect for self and others, and to be mindful of serving his/her community is instilled in each. So our school is a reward school, and we like to focus on teaching the whole child here.
So we're very excited to be a part of this STEM Summit. We both have a passion for STEM, and we really feel like we are thinking partners.
We have completed the Rural Collaborative Cohort with TSIN, and we are currently participating in the Innovative Leader Institute along with our principal.
So with going through this, we're really hoping to become a STEM designated school within the next year or 2 years.
Yeah. While participating in the rural collaborative cohort, we identified 2 areas we felt needed to be strengthened in our school. STEM and school culture were the 2 areas that we decided that we really wanted to focus on.
So our school is a smaller school. Like I said, we have about 200 students, so therefore we have 2 teachers per grade levels, and some years we even only have 1 teacher per grade level. So we've also here within the past couple of years had a big teacher turnover, and our school has had many additions, so it kind of causes the school to be laid out in a way that K2 teachers kind of rarely see 3 through 5 teachers. So because of this, we really knew that we wanted to work on our school culture and our sense of community.
We first started implementing STEM in our classrooms by adding STEM bins to our morning routine. So our students will come in, they'll choose a STEM bin with a different type of building material and challenges, and they'll just start building.
Yeah. So Miss Lauran and I were talking, and we were talking about the way our day started. And the way it's set up at Sewanee is students can come into the room at 7:45, but the day doesn't actually start until 8 o'clock. So we used to give like morning work, worksheets, things for them to come in and tasks they had to complete. But then we found that the students who came in at 8 o'clock were already behind and the day hadn't even really started. So we were like, okay, we've got to do something different. So we thought, what better way to start the day than with some hands-on learning?
Exactly. We noticed then that our students were eager to learn more about STEM, and our students couldn't wait to get into our classrooms and begin building every morning.
As teachers, we also quickly realized that we enjoyed challenging the students and teaching them the problem-solving skills. STEM gave our students an opportunity to take control of their own learning.
After seeing how much our students enjoyed the STEM bins, then we wanted a way to introduce more STEM into our day. And we wanted to introduce STEM to more grade levels. So we started an after-school STEM club with our bus riders. Our bus riders at our school are here for an extra 45 minutes every single day. So we just decided to use that time to implement some more STEM.
So the more we implemented STEM with our STEM bins and with our after-school STEM club with our bus riders, we realized that we were becoming more excited. So not only were the students excited, but we as teachers were also excited.
Mm-hmm. Now that we felt we had a better understanding of STEM, we were ready to begin working to tackle our 2 main goals that we had identified, STEM and school culture.
So we had some reflection time, and we took time to really look at how STEM was being implemented within our school. We realized that teachers, they really wanted to incorporate more STEM into the day, but they didn't know where to start. And they kept saying, how am I going to fit something else in? I don't have any more time.
Right. We also wanted to bring everyone together to accomplish this common goal and to increase a sense of community within our school building.
That's when we had the idea, hey, why don't we try to implement a school-wide STEM day? What better way to accomplish both of our goals than to get everyone involved in a day full of learning and fun with some hands-on activities?
Right. So we knew we wanted everyone involved, but we didn't want to overwhelm teachers at first, and so we just wanted to give them some ideas for incorporating STEM into their classes.
We were so excited about this idea of a STEM day, and we didn't want to wait until the next school year. You know, we didn't want summer to come and then get busy with the beginning of the year and kind of forget all about it. So together we planned the whole day for our school.
Now, because we were nearing the end of the school year at this point, we decided that the 5th graders could lead the activities at each station. We thought that having the 5th graders lead would give them a chance to show off their leadership skills before moving on to middle school.
Because teachers weren't having to teach the lessons or prepare anything, they were able to join the students in each STEM activity. We wanted them to be involved with all the STEM activities in a hands-on way. So Ms. Lauran and I decided that we would take on the responsibility for the first STEM day and plan it all out so that the teachers were not overwhelmed at the end of the school year with something else.
Yeah, and this made it a fun day for the students and the teachers as well.
Yeah, and so once they bought into this idea of STEM day, they were ready to join us in the planning process. Our teachers all agreed that we needed to implement more STEM days the following year. I think they even wanted one a month.
Yeah. So how do we collaborate with everyone, all teachers from all grade levels, to make this day happen?
So as a school, we were so excited to plan our next STEM day as soon as possible. So we assembled a team together and we met with our principal to discuss our first STEM day of the new school year.
We knew we wanted teachers to first have time to get to know their students and set expectations at the beginning of the year. We didn't want to rush into it. So we planned this first STEM day to take place in September.
So each year our school principal creates a theme for school, and we are the Sewanee Tigers. The Tigers are mascot. So that specific year, the theme for our school was Tigers Rock.
So when we were deciding on a theme for our STEM day, we looked at that theme for the year, Tigers Rock, and we thought, what better theme than Rockstar?
Rockstar.
Yeah, so we had a Rockstar theme.
Next, we got all of our teachers and staff together to begin brainstorming ideas for Rockstar STEM Day. We decided that each grade level would focus on a different area of STEM.
So we have learned that STEM doesn't have to just be science, technology, engineering, and math. It's really strategies that engage minds. So when we were planning out this first day, we really wanted to include all areas of learning and engage our students' minds.
So our school's kind of unique in that we have a wooded area right behind our school, and our kindergarten actually started something called, that they refer to as Forest Kindergarten. So each day, the kindergarten students spend several hours in the forest behind our school building. So the kindergarten teachers, when we talked about this Rockstar theme, they were like, well, we really enjoy being out in nature and spending a lot of time outdoors. So maybe we could look at nature and studying rocks outside. And then in first grade, we went with the engineering part of STEM, and we wanted students to design and create rock star stages for a rock band.
So in second grade, we decided to focus on reading. So we read a book about Jimi Hendrix, and because Jimi Hendrix guitar made crazy noises, we made a sound machine and learned about sound waves.
Third grade really wanted to focus some on history, and since we live in Tennessee, they thought, well, why don't we study the history of Elvis Presley?
And fourth grade wanted to focus on music, so they made harmonicas and then they played them.
This specific year, we only had one fifth grade teacher, so our librarian partnered up with our fifth grade teacher, and one of our needs in our school is writing, which is something we can always work on and improve. So they took writing and the Rockstar theme, and they became songwriters for the day.
Our specialty teachers wanted to focus on physical education, so they planned exercises to rock and roll music.
Now, we have the teachers involved, and we have the students involved, but remember we said that we wanted the whole school involved in our day.
Now, you may wonder, how do we get all of our students to all of these activities without there being complete chaos throughout the school building?
Yeah, so on this Rockstar Day, the teachers stayed in their own classrooms to prepare for the next group of students, while the assistants worked to take students to their next location. The assistants stayed with a specific grade level all day and assisted teachers when needed. Also, if any emergencies happened to come up, the assistants were able to handle them, and the teacher could go on with the STEM lesson. This allowed teachers to focus on their lessons while also allowing the assistants to be a part of our day.
And since this was a school-wide event, we wanted to build up our school culture. We wanted to end our day with everyone all together. We had a few ideas like a sock hop or dance party. And then we heard that a former student's dad was making kids music, and then we thought, well, it would be an amazing idea if we could have a concert at the end of the day. And it was just an awesome way to end our Rock and Rockstar Day.
Yeah, so at the end of our Rockstar STEM Day, all of the students, teachers, and staff joined together in our cafeteria/auditorium for a rock concert.
So we've also learned that the key to having a STEM day go smoothly is to have a clear schedule.
So let's take a look at one of our STEM Day schedules. This is actually from the STEM Day called Biomes and Books, which we'll tell you about a little later.
So when looking at this schedule, you can see that each session block is about 30 minutes long. We've learned that 30 to 45 minutes per activity works best.
We've also learned that it works best if students start the day in their homeroom with their teacher that they're with every day. So you'll notice in the schedule that each grade level will complete their first STEM activity with their homeroom teacher. So like kindergarten, they will start the day with their kindergarten students.
When scheduling, we make sure to include a planning time for teachers. This allows teachers a moment of downtime during the day to plan, prep, or just relax. We found that teachers really appreciate this time because STEM days can really be exhausting.
Yeah, lots of fun, but exhausting. So another idea to think about when planning is differentiation. Some activities may need to be differentiated for the age of the students. In our schedules, we make sure that teachers will see K through 2 back-to-back and 3 through 5 or vice versa. You can see here in our schedule that first grade teachers will meet with first, second, and then kindergarten students. After that, they will meet with third, fourth, and finally fifth grade students. Scheduling this way makes it easier for teachers to switch materials for differentiation if needed.
Also, we like to schedule a culminating activity for our whole school to get together at the end of the day.
Yeah, and when we first made the schedule, we didn't really think about keeping grade bands together, but our, I think it was our PE teacher, our PE teacher said, hey, you know, I really don't use the exact same materials for like the K2 students as I do for the 3-5 students. So he asked if we could maybe look at trying to keep K2 together and 3-5 together. And we were like, well, you know what? That's a pretty good idea. And, you know, the rest of the classroom teachers probably would appreciate that as well.
Yeah. Creating a good schedule is time consuming at first. We've spent a lot of time trying to make sure it would all work. Everyone gets where they need to go. But once you have a schedule that works, you can use it over and over again. We've used this pretty much this basic schedule every STEM day that we've had.
Yeah, and we even, when we first started, we had a STEM day and we started, and one of the teachers walked us and was like, hey, you got 2 classes in the same location. And we were like, okay. And so we quickly fixed it. So please, if something goes wrong at the beginning, don't just give up on it, okay?
Yeah. So how can you make STEM days work during a
pandemic? Rockstar Day went so well the first time that we decided to plan a Rockstar STEM Day this year. Although we currently have students in class and students that are completely virtual, and all teachers are responsible for providing instruction for both types of learners. So planning a day that included all of our students was a new challenge.
Yeah. So this year, instead of our students rotating to different classrooms, we decided that the teachers could move around the school while our assistants stayed with the students during transitions.
We also made packets of supplies and videos for our virtual learners. We created Google Slides with all of our activities and placed them within our Google Classrooms. Students at home were able to join in the fun with us. And we even had parents send us in videos of their at-home students doing these activities and send them in.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, virtual and in-person students Zoomed together for a virtual dance party, which was really fun.
Yes. So now let's take a look at some of the other STEM days we've planned.
So here you see our transportation day. Now this was the very first STEM day that we had planned, and this was the one where the 5th graders led each activity. Up in the top left-hand corner, you can see some pools there. those students were creating boats out of pool noodles and toothpicks, and they also made boats out of Legos that day. Then they were able to compare the buoyancy of Legos and pool noodles.
Right below that picture, you'll see a couple of students working with the Colby mice. Their job there was to code a mouse to get through the maze to reach the cheese.
Yeah, in the middle, there are some students that look like they are building. They're actually making cars there out of some building materials, and then they race their cars down the sidewalk.
In the last picture where the students are gathered around a table outside, they are using straws and paper to make straw rockets, and then they got to move over in the grass and launch their rockets.
Right. Also that day we had a glow room, which was really cool. So it was totally dark in there, and there were black lights everywhere. And then we used glow-in-the-dark Play-Doh, glow sticks, and glow-in-the-dark blocks. Yeah. And the students were challenged to make different types of transportation using those materials. All right, here you see our first Rockstar Day.
So if you look at the first picture, the students up there, this is actually the stage building station that we were telling you about in the first grade classrooms.
In the middle picture, you can see our rock concert that we had that day.
And then in the third picture, we set up a photo booth area with this Rockstar banner, kind of like you see behind us. And the classes were able to go take class pictures, or some parents came in and used it to take individual pictures of their students. If you notice what the students are wearing, we encourage them to dress for our STEM days, and so that day they all got to dress like rock stars.
Yep. We really like to set up some type of photo booth or something for our STEM days so that everyone has a place to go take pictures and remember the really fun day that we've had.
For this year, when we do these days, we also encourage our virtual learners to dress up. So those students, their parents were also sending us in pictures and videos of their students dressed in their rock star outfits.
Yes. All right, so here's one of our students.
I had a rockin' day.
Yes, we truly all had a rockin' day
yes.
that day. Okay, here is our storybook day that we had this year. You can see we're wearing masks. So we planned this day during Read Across America Week. So each grade level, unfortunately this STEM day we only K through 2 participated. So each grade level took a book and came up with a STEM activity for the book. So second grade read Basketball Bells, and then we made basketball goals out of paper plates and cups. You can see that picture all the way to the left. And then once students had successfully created a basketball goal, then we gave them ping pong balls and they got to try their basketball goals out.
If you look at the middle picture where the cute little lion is, this was the first grade teachers that led this activity, and we read the day that the crayons quit, and then we challenged students to come up with a new way to create a crayon box. We had a big discussion at the beginning about what's needed in a crayon box, and the students said things like sides, it needs a bottom, it needs a top, it needs crayons inside if it's a crayon box. So they got to work with cubes to create a crayon box. When about halfway through, some of them realized, hey, I can't fit 24 crayons in here. My crayons are falling. I can't move my box. So we gave them the opportunity to take a gallery walk around the classrooms so they could see what was working and maybe how to improve theirs. And then they came back and they got to work some more to create their crayon box.
Yeah, and the picture all the way to the right, this was the kindergarten teacher's activity. They read the Goldilocks and the One Bear. And then they challenged students to create a bed with some different materials. And then once they made their bed, they got to test it out with a bear, which was actually a bundle of crayons. So then here is our Polar Express Day.
So this was obviously around December. And we had a school-wide Polar Express Day. We invited all the students and staff and teachers to wear their pajamas. Kindergarten for this day, unfortunately we don't have a picture of it, but they challenged the kids to create a working toy. The top picture where you see the 3 girls in the cups, that was the first grade activity, and their challenge was to create a tree. Seems pretty easy, right? But they were not allowed to touch the cups with their hands. So they were given a rubber band, 4 pieces of yarn, and some cups. So they had to figure out how to use the yarn and attach it to the rubber band, and then use that to pick up the cups and stack them.
Second grade, we actually read the Polar Express story, and then students created reindeer rockets with straws and clay, and they blew them across the room. Third grade, all the way to the left, or all the way to the right, sorry, you can see third grade. They made mazes out of straws, and then they took jingle bells and blew them through their mazes.
The little boy in the middle is holding the 4th grade project, and their task was to create a Christmas card with a working light.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they learned about circuits and created a light-up Christmas card. It was really cool.
In 5th grade, our 5th grade teacher worked with our gifted teacher to create crystal ornaments with all of the students.
And then our specialty area teachers went to the gym, and they had reindeer games that day, which were really fun.
So our culminating event for that day, you know how we said we like to bring all the students back together? For that day, we got them all together in the gym at the end of the day, and we watched the movie Polar Express.
Yes. All right. And then biomes and books. This was one of my favorite days. So what was really cool about this is that we had all of our hallways decorated like different biomes. So one hallway looked like a deciduous forest. One looked like the ocean. This hallway that you see there, it looks really green, and there's some boys standing there. That was the jungle, and then there was also the Arctic tundra. Everyone in our whole entire school, students, teachers, even janitors, got involved in the decorating, which was really cool. So then once our hallways were all decorated like biomes, we thought, okay, Read Across America Week's coming up, so let's do a STEM day. Let's do something with these biomes that we have. And so we decided to have biomes and books days. So
this is the one that you kind of saw the schedule about earlier. Since it was Read Across America Week, once again, we really wanted to focus on stories, information, putting text in their hands. So we created passports for the students to take around to the different biomes. We also kind of split the day up a little bit different, and instead of each grade level doing a STEM activity, half of the grade levels read books to them to give them information about their biomes, and the other half of the grade levels did STEM challenges with them.
Yeah. So kindergarten was paired up with our principal, actually. So our principal started the day off by introducing students to our deciduous forest that we actually live in here. She dressed up like a park ranger, and it was really fun. Then the kindergarten teachers had students make homes for animals. So like you can see the two pictures in the middle there, they're building with wood and with magnet-tiles and making little homes for animals.
Yeah, our school principal was so good that year because we were supposed to actually have a guest come in. A park ranger was supposed to come in, but then he got called to Nashville to help there with
the tornadoes.
Tornadoes, yes. And so at the last minute, we got a call saying, oh, they can't be here this morning. So our principal dressed up and did it, and she did awesome.
Yeah, second and first grade were paired up. Second grade, we read about Eugenie Clark and sharks and filled in our passports. And then first grade.
And then when they came to first grade, if you look at the picture with the cups at the top, they learned about the different layers of the ocean, and they got to create the different layers of the ocean.
Third and fourth grade were paired up. One grade read about the Arctic tundra, and the other grade taught the students about animals in the Arctic tundra, and they did a STEM activity with that. Then fifth grade and our specialty teachers were paired up, right?
Yes. And they did the jungle.
Yeah, so they read I think fifth grade read about the jungle, and then they did some jungle activities in the gym with specialty area teachers.
And then remember we told you we like to end the day all together. For this one, since it was biomes and books, we paired up an upper grade student with a lower grade student, and they got to choose books to read to each other at the end of the day. So that's the picture where you see where the two students have books with each other.
Yeah. All right. You don't have to take our word for it. You can hear just how awesome our STEM days are from some of our students.
My favorite STEM day was Rock Your School Day. And STEM day is so fun because you get to let your imagination run wild. My favorite STEM day was last Rock Your School Day. I like it because you get to play with your friends and you can use your imagination to create whatever you want. My favorite one was Polar Express. You can use, and I like STEM day because you can use your imagination and your thoughts to create whatever you want to. like if you create a tower, for example, you have to use your thoughts what it's going to be like.
Thanks, friends. So those are some of our current second grade students.
Yeah. So some other ideas we've had for STEM days are, well, we actually planned holidays around the world STEM day that we didn't get to do because we ended up having to go home due to COVID. But for that day, we also had a passport planned. So students would be taking their passport to different countries around the school and learning about different holidays and doing STEM activities related to those holidays.
We're actually in the process of planning an end of the year STEM day right now, and it's going to have a beach theme. So every grade level will plan an activity to go with that theme. Some of them have already submitted their activities. I think fourth grade is going to create water slides. One grade level is going to work on temperatures.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep. And I think that we are planning on maybe making ice cream. Okay. So a whole beach theme day.
Yeah.
We want to challenge you now to think of some themes and some activities that you could do for a STEM day for your school.
Yeah, and even if you're thinking, oh, I just don't know how I'm going to get this done like whole school, maybe start with like your grade level partners and say, hey, are you interested in this? And you could come up with a rotation. Like we said, we had one STEM day that was only K2 because our upper grade students are currently getting ready for TCAP testing. So they kind of opted out of that one, but they're so excited about the one coming up at the end.
Right. So to make a STEM day work, you just need to find a thinking partner, come up with a theme, collaborate with all of the teachers involved, come up with your activities and a culminating activity for the end of the day. One important thing is to create a good solid schedule to get you smoothly through the day.
Yes.
And then go for it.
Yeah, so with some collaboration and some thinking, it's going to be a great day.
Right.
Thank you.
See you soon.
All right, so we'll give you just a few minutes to see if anyone has any questions. We don't have any in the chat just yet. Can you share the activities for the Polar Express Day again? Okay, So for Polar Express Day, kindergarten, they were making toys. So they had some different building supplies, and they were challenging students to make toys with them. That day for Polar Express Day, what did you guys do in first grade?
For first grade, we made the Christmas trees with the cups, where they were not allowed to touch the cups. They had to use a rubber band and pieces of yarn and work as a team to figure out how to get the rubber band on the cup and move it without touching it to create a tree.
Yep. And then in second grade, we read the Polar Express story, and then we made reindeer rockets with straws, like a small straw inside a larger straw with clay on the end of one, and then they taped like a little reindeer on the rocket, and then they blew them across the room. Third grade made mazes out of straws, and then they blew a jingle bell through their maze.
Fourth grade made Christmas cards with working lights.
Yeah, so they had like tape circuits, I think, that they taped on the back and had a little light bulb that would light up their Christmas cards.
And then fifth grade made the crystal ornaments.
Yeah. So they made like ornaments out of crystals. So I don't know what the materials were that they poured together, and they had string in there, and it turned into crystals throughout the day. Yeah, but those are really neat.
And then our special area teachers for that day played reindeer games in the gym.
Yeah. So they had like kids rode on scooters, and then they had jump ropes, and someone pulled them around, or games like that, like different reindeer games for PE class.
And this one, how did you get buy-in?
How did we get buy-in? Okay, so that's when we planned our first STEM day. We just planned everything for the whole day.
Yeah, we didn't ask the other teachers to plan anything for that day because it was the end of the year, and we just didn't want to put more on them.
Right. And since it was the end of the year, people were kind of up for anything, they were just trying to fill their time in May. Yeah. So, and since we had planned it all, and then the fifth grade students led the activities, the teachers just got to kind of hang out for the day and play with the kids at the different activities. And once they saw how much fun that all of the students were having and how much fun they were even having, then that's how we got them to buy in. Then they were ready to.
Yeah, they weren't totally excited about it at first because we hadn't done it. So they were kind of like, we don't know how this is going to go. And so that's why we kind of decided to take the pressure off of them, and we would handle the organization part of it. And then the fifth graders are the leaders at our school anyway. So we thought, why not let them lead the activities?
Yeah, really, we were kind of nervous about trying something new at the end of a school year, but it ended up being perfect. Like, it was the perfect time to try something new because everyone's finished with testing, and really you just need to fill your time. So it was really ended up being perfect.
From Tracy.
Hi, Michelle,
from her neighbors.
From Tracy City. How would you do a STEM day at a high school level? That's a hard question because I've never worked in a high school. But I know that our North Middle School has tried something similar before. And I think that you would just have to, I don't know, get together, try to come up with some sort of plan for the day. Maybe you go smaller and like, I don't know, maybe it's just a few teachers that get together to say, we're going to try it out with like a math teacher and a English teacher, and I try small first maybe, and then go for a larger scale thing. Do you have any?
I know, like when I was in middle school, our classes were kind of together. Like the seventh grades were kind of all in one pod. So maybe start in like your area, like your neighboring teachers.
No, thank you, Tiffany. You see any other questions?
Mm-mm.
anyone has any tips for the making a STEM day work at a high school, please let us know. That's a good question. Oh, awesome.
So we hope you got some ideas about how maybe you could take it to your school and, like we said, start small. Lauran and I do a lot of stuff together. We do the after school STEM. My co-teacher and I, we taught first grade together. And on Fridays, we would do STEM every Friday afternoon to kind of end the week. That was just something she and I did. And then we also participate in the whole school STEM days.
All right.
Oh, academy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So perhaps do a STEM day by academy for high school.
And then propose. Yes. Where you said proposing the Polar Express STEM day to your admin. That's where we always start, is going to a principal and saying, hey, this is an idea. And then we work as a team to create it.
Yeah. And we found that when we say, we will take care of it, we will plan it out, we will schedule it, we will do everything, and they're kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
okay, then if you're going to take care of it, then okay.
Yes. Our principals are good about letting us try things.
Yeah.
I'd love to
Thank
do this
you.
for junior high. Yeah.
Oh, we should share our email addresses with you in case you have any questions and want to ask them at a later date. We'll type those in the chat for you. So if you need to get in touch with us later for any advice or any help.
Everything's done right.
Yep, looks good. We are capable. A STEM night, yeah. Hi, Brooke from Huntland. Yeah, I think you guys could definitely pull that off K-12. That would be really awesome.
Yeah, especially with all of y'all being so close right there.
Mm-hmm.
Aw, thanks, Amber.
Oh, hey, Amber.
So we put our email addresses. If you have any questions or want a copy of our schedule or any of the ideas, we're more than happy to share with them. Just shoot us an email and we'll get that to you.
Yep. Thank you, Michelle. Someone said, love this to do this for junior high and work and careers. Yeah, that would be a cool idea. So plan your whole STEM day around different careers. That would be a good idea.
And she also said maybe try to use high school students to help. This summer, I know we actually have some middle school students that are going to come to our elementary schools and help during our summer school programs with some STEM.
Yeah, much like we used our 5th graders to help with our first STEM day, you could use high school or middle school students to come in and teach the younger students. That would be a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Love the STEM days and hope I can work on getting these schedules for next year. Yeah, just email us and we can send you a copy of our schedule. Thank you so much. All right. Well, don't have any more questions. Thanks, guys, for joining us today.
And if you think of any, like we said, just email us, okay?
Yeah. All right. Bye.
Bye.